This is the Warrior Goddess Saga and your Warrior Goddess Weekly. I am Lisa Borrowise, your wellness alchemist and fitness feminist, bringing you today our weekly dose of wellness horoscope. So we're looking at what is happening right now, both in the moon cycle's energy and greater celestial energy of what's going on, to help you to tap into your own warrior goddess archetype, which I'm going to share with you, and discover for yourself the strengths, the self-sabotaging patterns, the things that you may need to focus on this particular week with what's going on right now. So we're going to dive right in to today's episode. I want to talk about what's going on currently. So this will be released on the day of the full moon in Leo and also the Sabbath of Imbolc. Imbolc is the celebration of the first stirrings of spring, right? And also, I want to talk about that the year of the fire horse is also approaching in just a few weeks. And it kind of can feel like you're standing at a powerful crossroads, right? So the full moon is illuminating what's been hidden. It's also a time to release and let go of what's not serving you, what the goals, intentions that you set on the new moon, whatever has not been achieved or anything that's kind of in your way or limiting you can be released at this time. So this is also like what's happening now with the last little weeks of the year of the snake and the full shedding that has been happening. I'm moving into 2026. So the year of the fire horse is all about momentum. It's fierce truth and, stepping into a new identity. And that's what we want here for this week, right? There's all of that sort of energy coming up. The new little birth of this energy, the identity that's being reawoken, just like the little sprouts coming through and breaking through the soil, which is kind of the symbol of Imbolc. It's not subtle energy today, right? There's a lot going on, but this full moon isn't as much of a double whammy impact as a lot of the other full moons have been. This one is more continuing the theme of the reawakening, the transformation, the final shedding. So the armor that you've worn to survive is beginning to crack, and what's underneath is asking to be seen. We're reawakening, or indeed stepping into this new identity, this new truth. So the full moon doesn't create patterns, it reveals them. It literally shines a light on them. And depending on your different warrior goddess archetype, it shows you exactly where you need to rise to that challenge, right? And get you ready for what is coming up. So the warrior goddess archetypes are 4 archetypes that I have created to help you to identify your strengths and indeed your self-sabotaging patterns when it comes to your health, your wellness, your overall wholeness, right? And it gives you a really cool and mystical way for you to identify with each of these archetypes, either in the moment or it could be in the season of life, because they can shift and change as you shift and change. And if you want to find out how you can find out your own warrior goddess archetype for free with our free quiz, simply enter the Warrior Goddess Saga. So it's the warriorgoddesssaga.com. There will be a link below in the show notes and also in any email that goes out to you when you get the notification of the amazing Warrior Goddess Weekly. You can start by taking the quiz. So we're going to talk and speak to first our seekers in our community. So the seeker community is the biggest percentage, just so you know. We went and did a little bit of a recon and looked at all of the different archetypes, and we can reveal that in our community, on our email list, those of you who watch and listen, and also those in our Warrior Goddess Tribe community on Facebook, which you can join, warriorgoddesskettlebelltraining.com/tribe. You'll be invited to join that. Seekers are the biggest archetypes. So what's being revealed for you right now in this energy? So for you, Seeker, the full moon shines a light on that indecision and the over searching. You may feel restless right now. You may feel pulled in multiple directions, questioning whether you're on the right path. You will always feel this energy right now between that 1 foot in, 1 foot out type of feeling, right? So Imbolc reminds you that seeds don't grow by constantly being replanted. Okay? So there's this saying, or there's this story of people that are growing seeds, and maybe they're putting in new bulbs to like maybe make beautiful flowers come spring. And, we don't know, we can't see what's going on under the soil. But if we do try to dig it up to see what's happening, we're actually going to interrupt the growth. And that's what this is about, right? Seeds don't grow by constantly being replanted or dug up to check if they are growing. So the full moon asks you, where are you still seeking instead of choosing? Where are you still seeking rather than actually believing in the power of the seeds that you've planted? The work that you've done before, let it be. Let it grow, right? Let it grow, let it be, and have trust that they will blossom for you. Okay? So what would happen if you committed just for the season? If you picked one plan, one goal, one thing that you're working towards just for this season, what would happen? Yes? And as the fire horse approaches, your old identity as the one who's still figuring it out is ready to be shed. So this year favors movement, not perfection. Okay? Momentum, movement, right? And this is why, and always will be, why the seeker has the quest of the momentum map. The seeker needs a map. Our seeker's archetype is holding a map and has a compass and just needs direction, but also needs momentum towards their goals. They need to plant the seeds by understanding their values, their life goals, what it is that they're working to, what's important to them, and set a path to follow consistently for at least a season, 90 days. Yeah, and that's exactly what you'll find inside the momentum map. If you are looking for your particular quest for your archetype, enter the Warrior Goddess Saga, the warriorgoddesssaga.com, choose the quiz, the quest, or the quickening. So warrior, what's being revealed for you at this time? The full moon is exposing where you're over efforting, right? The full moon in Leo, right, is saying done with overgiving, overdoing from a prideful stance, right? Ooh, right? So there's a sense with the warrior of the pride of the battle. Pride always comes before the fall. So over efforting, over giving, over being too showy, being too performative, right? That's what we're getting in this particular full moon. So you may notice that you are tired, and that fatigue that you're trying to push under the table and you've been ignoring needs to be attended to, right? You need to listen to your body. The frustration that your hard work isn't yielding the results it should. This one, I feel this one, right? We get very frustrated very easily when the effort that we put in and then we double down and the hope for double efforts. And that's not how this works. It's about regulated nervous system. It's about approaching the battle with calm, right? I've just finished reading the Court of Thorns and Roses, fairy smut, as my friend calls it, books, but I love this series. And this particular book was all about the girls being warriors, being Valkyries. And one of the key elements that they did was the mind stilling techniques. Strangely enough, nervous system regulation, by the way, and the breathing and the breath work that they learn, nervous system regulation. And so Valkyries even did it. Warriors, can you hear? So in that sense, when you are in battle, you need your wits. You need your mental strength and mental fortitude as much as you need your muscles and other strength. So it's important that you enter this time of year understanding coming it from a place of regulation, not performance. And that's what's being revealed right now. So Imbolc whispers to you, growth doesn't come from force. It comes from alignment. It comes from the work that you've done within, right? I don't know about you, but when I used to grow, I think they did it in school where you brought home like a little thing of cress in like cotton wool. Anyone else? So little leaves of cress and cotton wool, and you would put them on the windowsill. And I would come down and try to watch them. And I would watch them and go, is that growing? I don't know that that's growing. There was a sense of, I couldn't see from when it was nothing to when it was a sprout. Yeah. And I tried to will that thing to grow and felt very frustrated when I didn't see any sort of growth. This is what's happening to the warrior right now, right? And then you've got the fire horse. It does not reward burnout. It rewards energy, fierce energy, decisive action, and also a mental clarity, which also comes from nervous system regulation. This full moon asks, where are you pushing when refinement is needed instead? What would just enough look like instead of all or nothing? That's a big one for the warriors. So the next evolution isn't more discipline, it's discernment for you. Okay, alchemists, what's being revealed? The full moon reveals where you've been waiting, where you've been in waiting mode, waiting for the right feeling, the right sign, the right moment. You may feel inspired right now, but also frustrated that nothing is moving or it's not going your way. Okay? If you are a big believer in manifestation, you may be thinking you're putting out all the right signals. You know, maybe you've done your vision boards, maybe you've decided what it is that's important to you. You're doing the manifesting work, but yet nothing is showing up. There's no signs. It's not happening, right? And that's making you feel frustrated. So Imbolc reminds you magic doesn't bloom without tending. Yeah, that you need to tend the garden, right? I had to water my little sprouts. I had to make sure that I had gentle care of that. So it does require you to still tend it. It's not just about waiting. Though growth does happen when you have the right circumstances and environment and it's in the right container. However, it also needs to have the watering, the tending, the feeding. So when that comes to manifestation, you need to still take action, aligned action towards your goal. And the fire source energy for you, alchemist, is very clear. Intuition without action will no longer sustain you. Although you have the stirrings, the inner understanding, and the more connectedness to self and listening to the nudges within, if you don't take action, if you don't tend to the garden, you will not manifest and create the life, the body, the health, the whatever that you want. So the full moon asks, where are you confusing alignment with delay? Are you procrastinating? And what would happen if you grounded your magic into rhythm? What would happen? So this is your season to embody, not just envision. And my guardians, okay? The guardians are the archetype that are potential leaders in our community, but they do have a lot of challenges and self-sabotaging patterns. And the full moon is illuminating your unspoken truth. You may feel emotional, tender, or unusually reactive, not because you're weak, but because something wants to be said. Where are you holding tension? In your throat, in your jaw, right? I saw, and I did actually my own jaw release this week. Again, a nervous system regulation and just fascia release through my jaw. Not only has it changed the way my face has looked, which is amazing, but it also released a lot of tension from unspoken truth, unspoken words that I wanted to say. So Imbolc marks the return of your inner flame, the part of you that knows you are meant to lead, to guide, or to speak, right? It is the beginning of the sprouting of new beginnings, of a new sense of renewal, right? And the fire horse brings courage, but only if you're willing to stop silencing yourself. So the full moon asks, where are you still protecting others at your own expense? What truth has your body been carrying for you for so long that it's now holding tension in the body? Your identity as the one who holds everything together is ready to be released. You're being called into visibility and voice, which indeed is the Guardian's quest, the voice and visibility quest, which you can go and check out as you enter the Warrior Goddess Saga, the warriorgoddesssaga.com. You can choose the quest. You can choose a quest for any of our archetypes, but the Guardian's quest is the voice and visibility training. It's an amazing one where we release the witch wound, right? Where we help you to overcome the witch wound and what that has meant. There's also a guided activation meditation in there, which is amazing. Why does all this matter? We've got the full moon, we've got Imbolc, we've got the fire horse convergence with our final shedding. It's not a dramatic reinvention, but a quiet, powerful release of identities that no longer serve you. The seeker who never arrives, the warrior who never rests, the alchemist who never grounds themselves, and the guardian who never speaks their truth. This is the threshold moment. The question isn't, what do I need to do? It's, who am I ready to stop being? And who am I now? So, if this stirred something in you, it's not an accident. Your archetype holds the key to how you've been armoring up, how you're self-sabotage under pressure, and how you rise without guilt, grind, or burnout. So start by taking the Warrior Goddess quiz and then begin the journey of becoming unarmored in body, in voice, and in life. And you can also join us inside the quickening. So go enter the Warrior Goddess Saga at thewarriorgoddesssaga.com. Choose the quiz, the quest, or the quickening, and learn about how you can ride this energy from this week and how you can do a deeper practice for you, for helping you to overcome some self-sabotage, whether you can start to begin to see your patterns, whether you can begin to release energy that's no longer serving you, or the identity that you're holding so tightly to, and begin to do some of the more practical work within your quests as well. So I will be back same time, same place next week for the Warrior Goddess Weekly. Enjoy the Sabbath of Imbolc. I hope you put out Bridget's scarf last night on your tree, or I put mine out on a fence. If you don't know anything about what we're talking about, come on over to the tribe community. It's free to join at warriorgoddesskettlebelltraining.com/tribe. Again, I'll pop a link in the show notes below. Because we'd love to continue the conversation. We'd love to hear all about you, where you are, which archetype you are, the quiz, the quest, or the quickening that you can embark on and begin the journey of reawakening, because midlife isn't a crisis. It is indeed a reawakening, and you can enter your warrior goddess era. I can't wait. Thank you so much for listening, and I will be back same time, same place next week. Until then, have an amazing week. Peace out.